Next chapter, tutto va bene. Granny Torrelli stirs the soup, takes a big sniff, and says, tutto va bene. She says it like, tutto va bene. It means all is well. I'm thinking about Granny Torrelli and Pardo and the black mangy dog, and that reminds me of the dog Disastro last year. And while Granny Torrelli is dipping the ladle into the soup and pouring the soup into the bowls, she is reading my mind. She says, Rosie, are you still wanting a dog for Bailey? I say, that Bailey, he can get his own dog. Granny Torrelli says, Puh, you're such a sassy Rosie girl today. And so I am thinking about the dog Disastro as Granny ladles out the steaming soup. It started at school last year. A man came to the assembly with a guide dog, a beautiful, sleek, golden dog, and the man showed us how his dog was his eyes and how it helped him get around the city and his house. And he said that even if he got lost, all he had to do was say his dog, find home, and the dog would lead him home. It seemed like a miracle. I wanted one of those dogs for Bailey. I went rushing home after school and racing up the steps to Bailey's house and banging through the front door like a blast of wind, and I found Bailey in the kitchen. And I said, Bailey, Bailey, you need a guide dog. They're the most amazing things. You'll never be lost. You'll never bump into things. You'll never... And Bailey said as cool as can be, Rosie, I know about guide dogs. What? I said. What do you know about guide dogs? You never told me anything about guide dogs. And Bailey, sitting at the kitchen table, crossed his arms, leaned back in his chair and said, not in a mean way, but in a kidding way, Rosie, do I have to tell you everything? And I said, yes, Bailey, yes you do. Now what about it? Let's get you a guide dog. Can't, he said. You have to be 16. What? I said. Well, that's just stupid. 16? Lots of kids have dogs. Lots of kids who aren't 16. Not guide dogs, Bailey said. You have to know a lot of special things. You have to train. You have to blah, blah, blah. On he went with the rules about guide dogs. When I left Bailey's, I went out looking for a dog. I had seen a stray mutt hanging around the deli, and I went in search of it. No luck. Next day, looked again. No luck. Next day, looked again. Found him. Shaggy little brown and white, funny-looking dog. I petted him, cuddled him, lured him home, snuck him into the garage, brought him meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and gravy leftovers. Wanted to do everything in one day. Sit, heel, stay. Mutt would not listen. Locked him in the garage, snuck out in the morning and fed him more meatloaf. Took him out to do his business, made him a bed out of my pillow and an old blanket. Went to school, came home, pillow in 1,000 shreds, blanket peed on, pooped by the lawnmower. Took him out, sit, heel, stay. Dog doesn't listen. He runs, rolls, bites my shoelaces. Another week after that, garage looking very bad, smelling very bad. Mom started to ask about disappearing leftovers. Little boy and his mother come to our door one day, asking about a dog. Tootie is his name. They say, Tootie, it's a little boy's dog, and he lost it, and he is sad. They say someone down the street said they saw me with a dog that looked like Tootie. Lucia, oops, I skipped. My mother says, Rosie doesn't have a dog, honey. We're so sorry. They start to go, hearing barking. Tootie, the boy says, his whole face lights up, as if someone has given him a barrel of chocolate. Boy and his mother head for a garage. My mother follows. I creep behind. My mother opens the garage. Tootie, the boy says, and that Tootie runs smack into the boy and licks him all over, and my mother is looking around the garage and gagging from the smell. And she says, Rosie, do you know anything about this? Tutto non va bene. All is not well. And that was the end of the secret guide dog business. Pastry party. Let's see how long this one is. I think I can read this. Zuppa is on the table. That's another word for soup. Granny Torrelli folds her hands and says a little prayer. God bless Mama and Papa and Rosie and Angela and Carmen and Giovanni and Lucia and Magdalena and Gianna and Lorenzo and Guido. On she goes like that, more and more names, and when she finishes, I say, ditto. I don't know all those people, who they are, but ditto. Granny Torrelli, with her hands still clasped together, says, oh, Rosie, you know, Giovanna and Lucia and Magdalena, they are my sisters, and Gianna and Lorenzo and Guido, those are my brothers. May they all rest in peace. Oh, I say, are they all dead, all of them? Granny Torrelli says, I do not like that word, dead. They are all having a big pasta party up there. She lifts her palm toward the ceiling, just waiting for me, the baby. Well, don't you go being in any big hurry to join their party, I say. Granny Torrelli says, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here with you, my Rosie. And we eat our zuppa, and I am thinking about how Granny Torrelli left Italy when she was 16, and she came on a boat with her uncle to America. And she has told me this before, but I ask her anyway. And did you never see your family again? Not ever? Granny Torrelli slurps her zuppa. She shakes her head. Not ever. Then she crosses herself because she is Catholic. But I am not Catholic, so I do not cross myself. I can hardly stand the thought that Granny Torrelli never saw her family again, not ever, and that now they are all, her Mama and Papa and sisters and brothers, all of them are up in heaven having their pasta party, and my Grandpa Torrelli is probably with them. And here is Granny Torrelli with just me, sipping chicken zuppa. Tangled head. We'll see you next time.